So I came across this absolutely ignorant meme by these two people, Jamie and Blake. I don't know who they are, but they have a big following. It came across my feed. I read it, started reading some of the comments, and I thought, you know what? This is something that I really need to speak on. I've wanted to talk about this and what goes on inside the classroom for a while now. Between my wife and I, we have about 45 years in education as instructors, teachers, professors. And so this meme says American schools should be teaching our kids the AEIOUs and not the LGBTQs. And where do these people get their information from? No teachers are teaching that. Teachers are trying to, get their kids to learn the state standards in most of their classrooms because they're highly tested and they need to have these standards in order to move on. And in many cases, it, has to do with a lot of the funding that schools get as well. They're teaching math, they're teaching history, they're teaching English, they're teaching all of the things you would think they would be teaching in schools. I don't know where these people are getting their information from. The only time, typically, when a teacher needs to address anything that has to do with LGBTQ community or anything like that is when kids, typically who have MAGA-type parents, are saying rude, inappropriate, and disrespectful things to other kids in the classroom. Because you guys are sitting at home saying mean things about people in the LGBTQIA plus community, your kids are going to school and regurgitating that shit. Your kids are typically the worst kids in the classroom. Make no mistake about it. There's nothing worse typically than a kid of a MAGA who's regurgitating the hate, bigotry, and racism that they hear every day from their parents. So yes, a teacher has to say to your kid, hey, little Johnny, don't say that about that person. Don't say those things. That's disrespectful. That's rude. And then they go home and say, my teacher talked about LGBTQ today. No, your kid was being a little shit, saying mean and disrespectful things. So the teacher had to go out and had to correct them and tell them to have some character. That's why a lot of schools have these initiatives around character counts and character is important because they want kids to stop bullying other kids. Typically, your kids are at school bullying other kids with their hate, their racism, and their bigotry. And because of that, teachers have to address these things. So, if you don't want any teacher to ever bring up anything that has to do with the LGBTQIA plus community, how about this? Stop teaching your kid hate at home. Stop teaching your kid bigotry at home. Stop teaching your kid racism at home. Stop saying hateful, bigoted, mean things about people to your kids and then having them go to school and regurgitate that shit. And I don't care what anyone says about me calling one of these little MAGA kids a little shit. That is what they're presenting in class, and that is what I need to say about them for their parents to understand how horrible of people that they are. Period.
Don't want no enemies or ops. Envy in their heart, I tell them stop. Vacation on the yacht.